Every legend is based on fact.
Oh, fucking touch it! Okay, it's the producer's cut.
The producer's cut. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Terror never rest in peace.
Could be you.
Terror never rest in peace. We're gonna review the
This
producer's
movie
cut.
should have rested in peace. It should have been left alone in the vault.
I don't know. I got weird feelings.
I have weird feelings too, but they're not good ones.
So let's go with the whole story of what happened first.
For 17 years, the town of Haddonfield, Illinois has been haunted.
So they make Halloween 6. After Halloween 5, the guy in black shows up out of nowhere, which apparently the whole story behind that was the French director who was doing Halloween 5 was making such a shitty movie that some guy used to dress like the guy in black on the set every day, and they were like, just put him in the movie. Just put him in the movie. French fries. That's not even French. It's croissant.
Croissant.
But
Take that shit to Burger King and make it a bill.
They just throw the guy in there, and he's like, everybody's asking him, like a cop, everybody's like, what are you doing? And he's like, don't worry, it will all come to peace in part 6. And that's not French again, but still, he's like, it'll all work out in part 6. You'll understand what's happening. So at the end of 5, Man in Black breaks him out, and then 6 comes, and everybody's like, what the f? Nobody knows what happened. So this fucking fan...
You know there was some script, right? They probably had like several of them, and they had that script for 5, and they're like, what the fuck am I to do?
This guy walks in, Daniel Faraday, with the script, and he's like, he tied it all together, he was really passionate about it, and it was a fan-made script, and they're like, let's fucking do it.
That would be, you know...
The dream.
That would be badass, but you know that guy, if he had that much time to piece it all together, you know you'd be one of those like, you are one pathetic loser. It's like, you had all this time, that's all you do?
What are these runes?
By a night when evil roamed the streets and a madman ruled the night. Everyone knows his name.
He walks in, he impresses everybody, they decide to make his script, and everybody on the set was like, if they would have stuck with his script and let him make his vision, the director would have made his vision, it would have been great. They bring in Joe Chappelle, and they decided to get extra financing from the Weinsteins on this for the first time ever. So they make the movie, the producer's cut that we see, and even the Accods say, we had more shit to do, like we had stuff to fix, we were going to fix it. It's not as choppy as it is in the actual movie, our plan for it. But there's a bunch of fighting between the director and the script guy and both the studios. And they said they go up to talk to the Weinsteins and show them the cut of the movie. And the Weinstein and the special effects guy, Weinstein was like, I want more gore, I want gore, I want gore, I want all this crazy shit to happen. And the special effects was like, yeah, yeah. And they got in the elevator afterward, and the Accods like, we're not doing any of that shit. And then
He said, you act like he sounded like Antonio Banderas. Stop me in the back!
Not yet.
I'm terrible at accents. But yeah, he's like, we're not doing any of that shit. I don't like gore and stuff in these movies. That's not what they're about. So there's a big legal battle, and finally, Chappelle, the director, sided with the Weinsteins, and they decided to make that gory-ass version of the movie.
Which, I mean, it was still good.
Yeah, and the lawyers for the Accods told them, sit it out, you're done. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
So their version, which was unfinished, became the legendary producer's cut.
And sometimes they have like extended scenes with dialogue with Loomis and Wynn and people like that, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. But then there's just some fucked up shit that happens. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it just changes everything. Like, for example, like one of the biggest shockers that come is that baby is Michael Myers. Like, he had sex with his own fucking niece. You had sex with your sister. It's like, what the fuck?
Which is one of my biggest questions. Even in the producer's cut, they don't answer it. Why? Okay, the whole storyline is, and this was a bit in 6 too. The whole storyline is Paul Rudd said, okay, there's these runes and there was these ancient tribes, and one kid in each tribe, one kid from each family would get designated the rune, or not the rune, but the thorn.
Thorn, yeah.
Thorn. He would get the thorn symbol, and he'd have to kill off his family, and then he would pass it on to another kid once his whole family line's dead. And they thought that kept the tribe safe.
Tell me about your mother.
But
it's like you're telling me. It's like I was like, there's these runes, right? And like you gotta have like Thor and Samhain.
It's weird, and also, okay, so there's that, right? Like he has to kill off his whole family.
Yeah.
So that's why Michael Myers wants to kill his whole family.
And then the curse breaks if he does that.
The curse breaks, and he passes it on to another kid. Where I'm confused is why did Michael Myers? Why did they want the baby?
They said
Cole want the baby?
Because the baby was supposed to be the final sacrifice for Michael, and then they were going to use Danny as the new one. Because as soon as Michael Myers had killed the baby, which would have completed the ritual, then the power would have been broken for Michael Myers.
Why did there have to be a final sacrifice? Why didn't he just kill...
Well, I mean, I have one question, though. When the power is broken for Michael Myers, does he just crumple like an old sack? She's like, done.
Clearly he walks off into the darkness.
No, but he didn't kill the baby, so he was still like, he still had the curse on him. At the end of the movie. He never killed the baby.
That doesn't make any sense, because he quit.
He didn't quit. No,
he was like, fuck this shit.
No, I don't know what... See, that's what I'm talking about. That's where it's confusing.
Now, everyone will know the truth.
I knew what he was.
Because Paul Rudd rolled a 9, so that was the stupidest thing. We'll get to that, but what I want to say is the thing about Jamie is when you see Jamie, you know, she doesn't die in the barn like she did in the original one. She just goes into a coma. They have her in the hospital, right? She has a flashback, and that's when you first see Michael Myers going up the steps with these satanic cult leaders, and he's just sitting there, and then she's like all chained up, sexual, and he just stands there, and you know, dude, like, I guess love is a battlefield. It's just Pat Benatar. It's just something, and he was standing there. What the fuck? Like, how does he know what he's done? He's Michael Myers. He's never probably had sex in his life, and they tell him have sex. And he's like. And he just finally, and then he's just like, you know, making grunt. Does he grunt? Like, I don't know. I went into detail. I was like, what happens? Like, you fucking asked Michael Myers to fuck a girl. Yeah. Like, it blew my mind. And it's his niece. And I don't know. Like, to me, that was just going a little bit far extreme to explain the mystical ways of Michael Myers.
They tied it together. I mean, yeah, I couldn't imagine Michael Myers having sex with someone.
Well, it's not just
that actually happened in a movie. But
do he grunt with mask and go?
I don't know. But if you haven't seen it, what happens is, like you said,
it's like when he did come to Twilight. He turned his head sideways like, I guess he's done.
It reminds me of Seven. The guy that got the knife attached to his
face. Yeah.
Like, she told me to fuck her! She told me to fuck her, so I did! I fucked her! But, yeah, so he has sex with her. And then what happens is Michael Myers, the cult has him have sex with his niece. And then that's the baby, and that's supposed to be Michael's final sacrifice.
So I guess you also find out that Michael Myers is from West Virginia.
But I don't understand. I don't. Why did they need to make the baby? They already have. I mean, why did they want to make another sacrifice? Why?
Maybe it had to be a baby. They never explained it. There was a lot of plot holes all up in this bitch.
So Paul Rudd's character, Tommy, the little kid from the original one, is obsessed with it and shit like that, and he discovers this whole thorn ritual and things like that, and thinks that there's these positive. Thorn's the negative rune, but you can have positive rune, which are just rocks in a sack, and if you put them around Michael Myers, it'll fight the evil and it'll make him okay again. It'll make him normal. So I guess they didn't quit, it just made him not evil anymore.
But I never knew why.
Halloween 6, the origin of Michael Myers.
No, it just stopped him. It was like a protective circle.
But when
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand that part because the way Paul Rudd explained it was that it was supposed to stop him only. It's supposed to like a barrier.
Yeah.
But then like when he does that, and then Wynn's like, "What have they done to you, Michael?" And then he's like, "Fuck!" Like the camera zooms in on his hand. And he's like, "Oh."
And I guess what's the name of the doctor? What's the name of I'm blanking. The
bad guy doctor.
Yeah, the doctor. Wynn. Okay, yeah. Wynn comes back and he's like, "I want you." Dr. Loomis to take my place as the Watcher. Apparently the Man in Black is just the Watcher of Michael Myers, keeps him safe, which I don't know what he's supposed to fucking do. But
he has to make McDonald's, he buys them parties, whatever he needs to have.
So he wants Dr. Loomis to be the keeper of all this shit. And then Doctor, this is just so.
See, what I would have told them is, like less is more. Less. I mean, sometimes you just don't need to explain all. Michael Myers is Michael Myers. Like, who the fuck cares? Where you don't really need to explain what Jason is.
Well, you gotta admit,
Freddy Krueger makes sense. Like, he could be a demon. I get like, he got infused with spirits and shit, and that's why he lives in dreams. It's Michael Myers. Like, I get that he's like the Sam Hain thing. I understand they wanted to give you a little bit more of a background story with him, his evil, but throwing the fucking runes in there and all this other stuff, like I was like, okay,
Did you notice that Paul Rudd said Sam Hain to him?
Yeah.
Why?
Sam Hain was, I don't know, Sam Hain is like Halloween.
When he puts the rocks, Paul Rudd's like,
Sam Hain. I thought that was funny. See, that's what I'm talking about. When he's sitting down there and he's cutting his hand, like at the end of the movie, he sends Loomis and the girl and the baby and everything up the elevator. He comes out, he cuts his hand, has all these stones roll it, and he's like, you know, making some kind of ritual, and then Michael Myers grabs him by the throat and he says, "Hey, man," but it really just reminded me of Dungeons and Dragons. He's like, "I rolled a 7, so you can't come past it." And then when Michael Myers grabs, like, "That's bullshit."
It's weird because it's a stupid ass thing. But it's admirable because they tried.
They tried, but I'm just saying, like H2O, they didn't even explain. They didn't even touch it.
Well, H2O, it completely disregarded 4, 5, 6.
I know, because that's what it did. They had fucked up. They had done all these different like storylines with like connections to mysticism and stuff. They were like, "This is ridiculous." Somebody was like, "Fuck that." It's like, go to the car wash, baby, and scrub that shit. So, and I want to know who was in the boardroom meeting when they went through that script though about the whole sex with the niece, and they were like, "Okay, I got a perfect idea." And they're like, "What is it?" And he was like, "So I think that you should fuck his niece." And they were like, "This is great tea." That's fucking brilliant.
Well, they said that it had had they originally gone with Faraday's script, it all made sense. And the guy even said, he was like, the scary thing about Michael Myers is you don't want to sympathize with him. He's the shape. He has no fucking back, which is why Rob Zombie fucked up, trying to give him he grew up in a shitty old trailer like everybody else. But they tried to explain, but they had to fix it.
Well, I get why.
They had to go off of 5, and they made a good attempt at it. And they made it interesting. The whole cult thing, it's an interesting thought, and as a Halloween fan, it's like, holy shit, what's fucking happening? But when it's over with, you're like, that was not satisfactory.
See, I think for an ultimate Halloween fan, it's one of those great things that you get to have to watch to complete the lore of Michael Myers. But in the end of the day, if that movie had been by itself and there had been no theatrical cut that everybody loves now, I don't know if it would have got as high of a rating.
That's a good point.
Because I think that at the end of the day, because when I look at, they're so different, the movies, they change so much of what Michael Myers is, and like this badassness that he exudes in the sixth one, in the regular theatrical cut, like it's just more this hard-edged version of it.
That's what I'm saying. I did miss the gore. Like, I guess I get that, like, Michael Myers isn't supposed to be about gore and shit like that. It's supposed to be about suspense and things like that. But you've got these hokey-ass scenes in all these movies, like in 4, when he grabs the guy, he's like, doo-doo-doo-doo, and he throws him into the electrical thing, and all this corny stuff. It's like, I think all fans at that point, and the one scenes must be included, wanted to see Michael Myers uncut, go fucking nuts and ape shit on somebody, and just get pissed off and see him just ravish somebody. And they did that with the scene in the original one, which is one of the most badass scenes in the movie, even if it doesn't make sense because they had to cut it so horribly. The scene where he goes into the doctor's lounge and the strobe light.
I love that fucking scene.
It's fucking awesome.
I know, and I was like, why did he do that? I was like, I don't give a shit. Get that machete and chop that shit.
Yeah, the story's broken, but it still was awesome. And I actually like the scene where Paul Rudd beats him with a pipe.
I love that scene too.
Why did he bleed green?
Well,
I don't fucking know.
What he stabbed him with.
He's got Slimer inside of him.
No, yeah, Slimer was in his butt. No, I mean that little stuff, that the syringes. Remember he had been hit that sleeping juice.
That's why you watch movies with friends.
Captain Morgan. So yeah, I love that ending, and so they didn't. You know that it's like watching. Like I guess the movies are like if you like Mudvayne and Not Falling, the song, or do you like Michael Bolton? Like, it's like they were trying to go for this like thriller, not political, but remember thriller suspense. When I said Alfred Hitchcock in the butt, that's what I meant. Like that kind of scenery. Versus what they had in the original theatrical cut. And that, I just think the theatrical cut was overall better. I mean, it's like, you know, everybody loves Rob Zombie's Halloween for a reason. He made him edgier, he made him more kick-ass, he made him more brutal. What they did with the theatrical cut, they did the same. They began it there. I mean, they started it there with the brutality of Michael Myers, just letting him fucking, like you said.
I disagree that everybody loves Rob Zombie's Halloween, though.
Not everybody. I'm not saying everybody loves it, but it's generally accepted that Rob Zombie's Michael Myers was like brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
Like not the first 20 minutes with that kid with the squishy face that you just want to beat up. Yeah. Not that kid, but when he actually becomes Michael Myers, a big ass guy, it's brutal.
Well, yeah, the gore I think for fans, the gore wasn't a problem. I've never heard a Halloween fan say it was too gory. I didn't like it. But that was the Akkad's problem. But like, there was stupid stuff in the theatrical cut too. Like, why? Like, I made that guy's head explode when he electrocuted him.
Yeah, like, I know. Sometimes it didn't make sense.
That's stupid. And it's just like But this is a movie. Had they gone with the script, okay? Had they gone with the original script, and that director wasn't such a piece of shit. That director sucked. Yeah. I did not like Joe Chappelle at all in this movie. And they just took their time and figured out shit a little bit better, and the studios could get along, and they just worked it out and worked together. They could have gone with the producer's cut story and fixed the shit wrong with it and made it a really good movie. Instead, you got two kind of shitty movies.
Well, I mean, but you know what? In H2O, they just said, fuck it. Yeah. They didn't even want to try it because they were like, it's been 20 years since the original. Smart thing to do. I know, they just didn't even want to deal with that. They would say, you all have fucked that shit up. It's like a monkey fucking a football. Yeah. We're not going to fuck with it.
But he goes back, and what I don't understand, there's just so much choppy shit in it. Like, okay, Loomis gets knocked out, and then he walks outside with Paul Rudd, and then he's like, I still have some business left to attend to.
So and he goes back
in.
The Godfather?
Was he? Yeah. Why? Tell me, if you know the character Michael Myers, why would Michael Myers knock out or win and then take off his mask? I'm going to put my mask on.
Not just that, he didn't just knock him out and put his mask on, he put him in his own fucking jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Like so he did all that. He's like, I'm going to tie your shoes and I'm going to put this on.
Did he want to escape?
And then you hear Loomis, yeah, I guess. And then, or if he was like, maybe you're right, maybe he was retiring. Because he didn't like do anything else. You see, Loomis is fucking the thorn.
Because I guess the stones actually worked and they took out the evil.
Maybe,
but why would he redress Wynn?
I don't know. But then you see, you know, because Wynn grabs Loomis's arm and you see the thorn symbol appear on Loomis's arm, and he starts screaming. And then you might see Michael Myers from the side profile look back, like, and then he keeps walking. Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of the movie. And you're just there was the way it ended.
Who's Michael Myers now? Who's supposed to be Michael Myers?
Who are you?
It's not Loomis. Loomis was.
I think I think they were going. Michael Myers is still Michael Myers, but he's just not. Maybe there is nothing controls him now. I don't know. Maybe when clenches his fist, when Wim was like, "What have you done?" Maybe he broke through the thing, and now there's no barrier. There's nothing to stop him. There's nobody to control him. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and
I don't know.
I guess Danny got away.
Yeah, but this is all reaching, dude. That's what I'm talking about. This is why this movie had a lot of issues, because if you're reaching this much to find out the whole, it should have been explained a little bit better. But I think the theatrical cut, broken and obviously missing parts that you didn't understand, but it still worked overall.
I was disappointed with one thing, and one thing I was really disappointed was I thought it was going to explain and edit better, where she jumps out of the window. Yeah. Which, what a bitch, by the way. This woman's got a knife to a baby. And your son Danny's inside, and your response is to jump out a fucking window and just run away from all of it. She jumps out, which
responsible to dump in your pants, but like, give me the baby.
The grandma with the knife is creepy. Yeah. She's like, what? But she jumps out the window, and I thought that the producer's cut was going to edit that better together. It's still the same shitty edit. All of a sudden, clip. When Paul Rudd and Sam Loomis walk out, and he's like, I feel like I've been drugged.
He's like, we have been. Where's the baby? But that's another thing. Let's talk about the editing. I don't think the editing was that good in this anymore.
No.
Because there were scenes like when Loomis, when he hears Jamie, he's like, Dr. Loomis, Dr. Loomis, help me. And then Dr. Loomis just walks, like they edited it and she's in the bed. Then Dr. Loomis walks over to the drawer, opens it up, and grabs a gun and just stands there. Yeah. And then it cuts, and I'm like, what? He just stood there with the gun. He's like, I'm going to help her. Then I was like, I forgot what I was doing. It's just like, and then
Loomis was badass.
Oh, no, the acting across the board is still just as good as the theatrical cut. There's nothing wrong with the acting. The other thing I didn't like, though, is the music. They fucked the music up because they go,
really?
Yeah, dude, because they rely so much on that dum 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 dum. I mean, it's over and over and over. They changed a lot of key scenes. Like the music is just as much of a character in it as the Michael Myers.
I like the music in this.
Yeah, but dude, the way they shot it, like it was just so many times.
Except for the electric guitar.
But I love that. I don't know. It seemed like they were easy. Like in the theatrical cut, they didn't do it out as much, so it was more effective. Yeah. Like in this one, it was like every other scene was the same song repeated. But at the end of the day, dude, when I would watch it, like I watched it, I was done with it, and then I had to center myself because really, when you're done, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's happened? Yeah. You have to have reflection, and then it's almost like you're thinking like. You were like, I thought Rob Zombie was a monster for Halloween too, but you.
Well, I feel like Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield trying to piece together where his dad is after watching this movie.
Yeah, I can see
I gotta draw like a fucking diagram and be like, what the fuck happened?
You're gonna draw it on your board. They get mad and trip it all down. I was like, forget it.
Ultimately, like if this was the official movie, I would have hated it. But it's a fun watch. It's fun to piece together and try to figure out what's going on. It's an extra little piece of Halloween lore, and I like it for that. Ultimately, the question of the day, and it's so easy.
I want you to tell me what
easy. It's a really easy one.
What she said.
Let me ask you this: the question of the day is so easy today. What's your favorite? The producer's cut?
Or option B,
theatrical cut.
I'm gonna go with theatrical cut. I'm gonna say why, because imagine if you brought a girl over to your house one day and you had production because she's never seen Halloween before, and then she watches it and she's like, Shelly, he fucked her knee. He's a disgusting bastard. And you're like, yeah, I know, he's fucking gross. You're a big Halloween fan. And she's like, why do you have figurines then? I was like, because they were gifts. It's like, shut your mouth, ho. But yeah, so I just think the producer's cut, it gives you a little bit of information. If you're a big Halloween fan, you're gonna love it. If you're not, you probably won't like it as much. And if that had been the released version, it probably would have never fucking
may have killed Halloween.
I'm gonna go with the theatrical cut.
I'll go with the theatrical cut too. What is your favorite between the producer's cut and the theatrical cut? Until next time, guys, I'm Mike, he's Jay, and don't listen to the power of Thorn.
Sam Hain.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.